Alright guys, what is up? It is AJ from the House of Masks, and obviously we have got a situation to discuss today. So let's go ahead and hop right into it and talk about the accident. I already feel like I'm starting this video wrong because I'm not doing all of the cringy, cliche, YouTuber serious video things that they all do at the beginning of the video. Like, I didn't hard start the video with no editing between pressing the record button and acknowledging the camera, and I didn't let out like a big dramatic audible sigh before I started, like and then immediately follow it up with something like, well, I didn't want to have to make this video, but... All jokes aside, I was super indifferent on making this video. I didn't care one way or another, mostly because I knew that if I did make a video addressing the situation and no one really asked for it, that I would be accused of like milking the situation for attention and views and money and whatever else. And that's not the case. I know that the situation doesn't really have anything to do with the channel, so I didn't care to be accused of seeking attention or validation or pity or clicks or whatever it was. And I knew that if I didn't make the video, that for the next 2 months or so, I was going to just be absolutely flooded with comments asking, oh my god, what happened? What did AJ do? What happened? And obviously, we are still going to get comments like that, but I have a feeling that making this video and addressing it will cut down on at least 3 of those comments. So, in the video that I released yesterday, which is the first video that I've made since the accident, I went ahead and threw it out there. Like, hey, if you guys want to know the full story and you kind of want an update on what's going on with me health-wise now because of this accident and how it's going to kind of affect the future of the channel, then let me know. I can make the video for you, and if not, that's totally cool too. And before that video even went public, I had so many of my patrons and channel members say, yeah, dude, we want to know what's up. We care about you. And those comments kind of got me thinking, like, I almost owe this video to you guys because a lot of you really do care about me, and that means a lot. So I do want to keep you up to date. I do want to keep you informed, and I've felt just a vast, overwhelming amount of love since the accident. So yeah, I have no problem sharing the story and keeping you guys in the loop. So with all of that being said, I'm going to go ahead and break down what happened. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my daily life since the accident. I'm going to tell you probably what to expect from the channel in the near future. And I think that will just about cover everything, so let's hop right on into it. The accident itself, it was a normal day. Me and my best friend Ben went out and rode some trails and we hit some jumps. Actually, this video right here was taken 10 or 15 minutes prior to the accident happening. And to answer the question that I've been asked first and most since the accident, was it my fault? Was I doing a wheelie? Was I jumping some stairs? Was I hitting a ramp? No. We had just gotten done with our tomfoolery out in the woods, and we were actually just heading home. This was a total freak accident. I don't necessarily think that anybody is to blame because I definitely could have reacted better.
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
Maybe I couldn't have. I don't know. I'll explain to you guys how the accident happened. And to do so, since I know that a lot of you guys aren't riders, and since I know for a fact that the vast majority of you guys are not familiar with my town and the roadways at all, I figured that we could implement the help of a visual aid. So I sought out just the most absolutely up-to-date, technologically advanced visual aid software that I could find, and we're going to be using that right now. So I'll go ahead and pull that software out right now and we can get started. Ooh, that felt good. Okay, so basically I was on a 4-lane road. It was in town, it was 4 lanes. 2 of the lanes went one direction, 2 of the lanes went the other direction, and in the lanes that I was in, there are right-hand turns onto side streets. So I'll go ahead and try to draw that out real quick. We will make the divider black. I'll fill that in. And then I'll put lines like this to show that there are 2 lanes. Here's our little side street. And This is the side that I was on. Easy enough, right? There you go. So I was on the right side. I was heading east, which means that above my middle finger right there, I was on that road, and I was in the right lane. So I was in the lane closest to that side street. There, I made a little visual representation of myself and the direction that I was heading. Well, a vehicle decided that they were going to come from the other side of me and make a very sharp right-hand turn onto that side street. Does that make sense? You can probably guess what happened after that. I collided with the side of their vehicle. I kind of ramped up their front wheel, and I literally just had absolutely no time to react. I remember seeing what was happening and pressing my brake, but I was already in the accident, and it was just bad news from that point on. So I kind of hit the side of their wheel and rode up on it, and the bike did like a spiral. It was like a football throw, and I started to kind of get tossed off the bike, and I don't know how the bike didn't land back on me, but I hit the ground very, very hard. Right about there. Okay, we don't need that anymore. You guys see what I'm saying? I essentially T-boned the vehicle because they made a very sudden right-hand turn kind of onto that side street, and I was right next to them, and it just launched me. It was like their vehicle was a ramp, and it completely booted me off the side of the bike, and I don't know how my arm got broken. I don't remember how I hit this arm, but I remember how the rest of the injuries happened. So I guess we can talk about the injuries. Obviously, I have a very broken arm. The outer bone, whatever that is, the tibia, fibula, whatever, looks like this, and it's not supposed to look like that. That one bone is supposed to be one piece, and it's obviously not. I knew as soon as I stood up and looked at my arm that it was broken because it was kind of dangling like a fucking McDonald's M arch or something. It looked disgusting. I was like, oh, my arm's broken. Didn't feel it too bad. I definitely had some adrenaline going, so I didn't feel the arm that much. I do remember hitting my head extremely hard off the ground. Thankfully, I had a helmet on. OMG. It is like a 50-50 shot on if I leave the house wearing a helmet. I do try to wear this anytime that we are going out and stunting. So if I know that we're going to go out and do wheelies or hit jumps or whatever, I throw my helmet on. But if I'm just cruising to like McDonald's or something, I usually leave my helmet off. And I'm very, very thankful that I wore the helmet because this thing took a hard hit. And I'm not saying this to be dramatic, but if I wasn't wearing this helmet, this side of my face would be imploded and I would be dead. I would most certainly have brain damage. I would be a vegetable. I would not be making this video right now. And today is the first time that I have seen the helmet since the crash, and it's scary because I broke the visor, which doesn't sound that wild. If it had broken up here where it's real flimsy, that would be whatever. But the fact that it is completely snapped in half down here at the base is wild to me. I think anybody that like rides motocross or whatever will understand why that's so insane. But I hit pretty effing hard. Thank the Lord that I had a helmet on. I will most certainly swear by helmets and always wear my helmet from now on.
I promise.
Other injuries include road rash pretty much all over my right side, from my shoulder to my elbow to my knee to my hip to my ankle. It's all pretty much skinned. I also have quite a bit of road rash in the form of actual chunks missing from my arm under this stent. My ankle is completely obliterated. It is not broken, but they said that there is a lot of soft tissue damage, and my big toe is so broken that it looks like the big toe of a corpse. Now, with those injuries comes recovery. I will tell you that it has been a struggle. I can barely walk, which is weird because I can ride a bicycle, and I'll explain a little bit more about that in a second. It is very, very hard for me to sleep because my arm just wants to do stuff that it can't do, and I find myself kind of jerking myself awake, not like that.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
But from pain. I'm like wincing in pain where I'll move this thing in a manner that it shouldn't be moved, and boy oh boy does it let me know. I can't get myself dressed in the morning. I can't shower myself. Mostly due to the things that happen after that. Like re-getting dressed is impossible. I can obviously wash my hair and wash my body, but when it comes to putting my underwear on, it is so much more difficult than you guys would think, and that's because not only is this limb not usable, but the rest of my body hurts so bad that it's hard for me to bend in certain ways, and like putting socks on is like a jigsaw trap. It's insane. I would say that out of everything from the head injury and being concussed for a few days to the broken arm, that the thing that sucks the most is the road rash and my hip. I don't know what is going on with my hip. Maybe I chipped it or something, but that is where I get the most pain. The road rash is annoying and pretty painful throughout the day, but man, oh man, my hip sucks. So yeah, that's made my day today kind of a pain. I can't drive. I have to be driven around because my truck is a standard, and I tried to drive it and it does not work. Too much bumping and hitting and too many things going on for just one hand to be utilized, so that's annoying. If I want to leave, somebody has to come pick me up, or I've been getting away with riding my bicycle, and I mentioned that a little bit earlier. Everybody thinks that it's like insane that I'm riding my bike because I am the way that I am, but let me tell you guys, it's a lot easier on my body to do so. It takes all of the weight off of my ankle. Even when I'm rolling and pedaling, I kind of have that kinetic energy where my feet just keep the pedals going. There's not a whole lot of force. Like, I'm not pedaling as hard as I can like I'm racing or something like that. So it's very, very easy on my ankle. And it's also very easy on my hip and my arms. I can use one arm to drive the bike, and all of my weight is on the seat. It's on my butt, so it's not being placed on my hip like I'm walking or something. And I know that that sounds weird, but it is very, very gentle compared to walking. So aside from the annoyance of day-to-day life dealing with these injuries, I most certainly have to have surgery on my arm. The surgery is scheduled. Unfortunately, it's scheduled pretty far out in the future because, as I mentioned, there is so much road rash under this stent that they don't want to do surgery while I have the road rash because they don't want an infection to start under the cast. Something I forgot to ask about when I was at the ortho was if I was going to need plates or screws, but the specialist that came in and talked to me about the surgery didn't mention them, so I assume that they're just going to do surgery, set the bone, and then give me a hard cast to heal in. She sounded like it was going to be a super smooth and easy operation that lasts about 45 minutes, so fingers crossed for that. Can't wait till that's over, good God. I'm not worried about the surgery itself. I'm worried about being put to sleep because that is my other biggest fear. Like, this is the year of conquering my fears, I guess, because earlier this year, I conquered my other biggest fear of getting on a plane. And the outcome of that was about as good as it could possibly get because I love flying now and I'm able to take all of these cool trips. But I don't know what I'm going to get out of being medically induced into a coma, essentially. I mean, that's how I see it. I know that it's just like anesthesia or whatever, but it freaks me out. So I won't lie, I'm pretty worried about that. Unfortunately, this has obviously costed me some opportunities with work and with fun. Now, Horror Hound Weekend was just this past weekend, and I was supposed to go down there, which would have made for some awesome videos. I would have most certainly met some new awesome people and made some great connections, and I just didn't get to do it. I couldn't go down there and do the convention. I couldn't risk bumping into people with this sling with the bone the way that it is, and we had also planned to go to Gwar over the weekend, which would have been more content and yet another cool Gwar show in the books. This actually might be one of the first Ohio Gwar shows that I have missed in almost 20 years now. An even bigger bummer because I love Tommy and I had to miss Tommy on this tour, so that actually makes me really sad. I don't know, and I guess I don't think that this is going to affect any of the other plans in my immediate future. At least I hope not, obviously. I do have quite a few trips planned between now and PaleFest, and I think that once I get in that hard cast, it'll probably be smooth sailing. So I'm just hoping that everything between now and the surgery goes well so that I can get out there and shoot this content for you. I was really excited for the rest of September and October because I have so many crazy cool projects and videos coming up and cool people to feature on the channel, and I'm just really hoping that I can still do that. I hope that Horror Hound and the Gwar show were the only casualties that I'll have to take because of this, because again, man, just like the cool shit that I have planned is cool. It's amazing. It's awesome. It'll be the biggest year for the House of Masks yet for sure, as if it hasn't been already. And I just don't want to lose that momentum right now in the peak of the season. So yeah, dude, I think that is just about it. I think that I've covered every detail that I can think of. So I guess if you guys have questions, feel free to drop them below down in the comments section. I'll do my best to get those answered. And yeah, man, I'm just incredibly thankful. I know that I should probably have like a pretty negative demeanor right now or a negative outlook, but it could be much, much worse. Like, I could have been born in New Jersey. God, that would have sucked. Seriously, very, very happy that I had the helmet on, and I hope that this is the low point. I hope that missing Horror Hound was the low point. I hope that the pain that I'm in subsides day by day and getting dressed gets a little bit easier. Like I said, it just could have been a lot worse. I also want to say that I am extremely thankful to everybody that's reached out, and especially to the people that are helping take care of me. My dad has been here every single morning helping me get dressed. He helps me get showered, I guess, like get ready for the shower. He definitely doesn't get in the shower with me, guys. That would be fucking weird. My dad would never do that. Come on.
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
He helps me wrap my arm up, and he helps me get my fucking socks back on, and then he drives me down to the coffee hub in the morning, and I just think that's super awesome. My mom has been making me fucking homemade meals, which is great. All of my friends have been coming over and helping me bandage myself and redress my wounds, and I just really, really, really appreciate it. So thank you guys all very, very much. I love you. And again, thank you to you guys. The outpouring of love that I got when I let everybody know what had gone on was fucking crazy, and I had people reach out that I haven't even seen in years, and some of those people have stopped by the building every single day just to hang out with me. And I just feel very, very grateful for that. So yeah, I don't have anything else to say at the moment. I will do my best to keep you guys updated as we go. But again, hopefully, fingers crossed, it is all smooth sailing from this point out, and I won't even need to update you. All right, I don't know how to end this video, so I guess I will just end the video. Bye.